Am I recording? Hello again, it's me Chaz, back with another video. This one I'm going to cover match day 9 of the CONMEBOL's World Cup qualifiers. Matches took place last week on the 10th and 11th of October. There's a total of 18 match days in the CONMEBOL's World Cup qualifiers. So, halfway through now. This is how the current table looks like, with Argentina still being top of the table, World Cup holders. The top 6 teams will qualify for the 2026 World Cup in Mexico, USA and Canada. Whoever finishes in 7th place, so that's currently Venezuela, will be in a playoff spot and have another chance to qualify for the World Cup. Last week, 2 shock wins happened. The game between Bolivia and Colombia. Bolivia winning 1-0 and they were down to 10 men. Also, at the time, Peru were bottom. They managed to beat Uruguay, who were 3rd in the table. With that win, Peru managed to get their first win of this World Cup qualifying campaign and have moved it to 9th place. Still a lot to do, but it's a positive win for them. We'll look into that game and the 4 other matches that took place last week on the 9th day of World Cup qualifying in the CONMEBOL. So let's start off with the game between Bolivia and Colombia, where Bolivia was able to win 1-0. During the last international break, Colombia moved to 2nd place after beating the World Cup holders Argentina. Bolivia also had a good international break back in September, being level on points with Paraguay, who were in the playoff position and being a point behind 5th and 6th place, which is automatic qualification for the 2026 World Cup. So again, both teams were on a positive run. Now they met each other and Bolivia surprisingly was able to beat Colombia 1-0. And they were at home and down to 10 men in the 20th minute. Hector Kuslar got sent off in the 20th minute. A poor challenge. But that didn't stop Bolivia. They were able to win a goal from Miguel Torcios. That's his 3rd goal in 3 games now for Bolivia. Quality. He's only 20. He's doing really well for them. Winning this game, Bolivia has handed Colombia their first defeat in the World Cup qualifiers. And winning this game, they're now in a World Cup qualifying position. 6th, a point ahead of Venezuela. No change for Colombia, they're still 2nd. But if they did win, they would have been level on points with Argentina. But again, the top 6 teams will qualify for the 2026 World Cup. For Bolivia and Colombia's next games, both of them will be playing 2 teams at the complete opposite ends of the table. Colombia will be playing Chile at home, and Bolivia will be playing the World Cup holders Argentina away. Both games are being played this week at the same time, so I should say same day. The 15th in Colombia and in Argentina. That's Bolivia's 3rd win in a row now. Okay, let's move on to the next game. That was between Ecuador and Paraguay. That match finished in a 0-0 draw. At the beginning of match day 9, Ecuador were 4th and Paraguay was 7th in the table, which meant Ecuador would qualify for the World Cup if it was the end now, and Paraguay would have been in a playoff position if it was the end now. This result and other results around them forced both teams to drop a place. So now Ecuador are in 5th and Paraguay have dropped out of the playoff position and now they're in 8th. With that said, this is Paraguay's 3rd clean sheet in a row. But after that massive win against Brazil, maybe they needed more from this game. Because of Bolivia keep winning their games, was able to catch up to Paraguay. Paraguay will be playing Venezuela next, who are currently in 7th spot above them, which is the playoff spot. So Paraguay will have a chance to gain back that 7th position. Ecuador will be playing Uruguay away from home next. Still a lot to do for both these nations. A draw's not the worst result against each other. Anyway, let's move on. I mentioned Venezuela earlier. Venezuela played Argentina. That was a 1-1 draw. Argentina opened up the scoring with a goal from Otamendi in the 13th minute. But Venezuela was able to rescue a point. Rondon in the 65th minute was able to score, giving Venezuela a much needed point against the World Cup holders. Despite not winning in the last 2 games, Argentina are still top of the table and in a comfortable position going to the next World Cup. Venezuela, on the other hand, have now dropped out of the automatic qualifying places for the World Cup qualification. So now they're in a playoff position. And even though they did rescue a point, they have not won a game in their last 5 matches. You have to go back to match day 4, back last October, when they defeated Chile 3-0. Both goal scorers, Rondon and Otamendi. This is the 3rd goal both of them have scored for their nations during this qualifying campaign. I mentioned earlier that Argentina will be playing Bolivia next. They're at home. And Paraguay will be playing Venezuela. Venezuela playing away. That is 6th place versus 7th place. Oh, sorry, my apologies. That's 7th place versus 8th place. So yeah, but between Bolivia, Paraguay and Venezuela, that's pretty close between 6th and 8th place. 6th qualify, 7th playoff, 8th no World Cup. All right, next up, Chile hosted Brazil. Brazil were able to beat Chile 2-1. And with this result and the other game after this, Chile are now bottom of the table. And they have only won 1 game in 9 during this World Cup qualifiers. Big win for Brazil. They move up to 4th. After that disappointing result against Paraguay, they needed a win, step up, and they did. But they were losing. Chile started off bright early. 2nd minute goal. Vargas was the goal scorer for Chile. That's 2 goals for 2 for him in the last 2 games for Chile. Unfortunately for him and Chile, both of the times he scored, Chile still lost. Igor Jesus equalised for Brazil 1 minute into extra time in the first half. And late on, Luis Henrique in the 89th minute took the lead for Brazil, beating Chile 2-1. So, Brazil have managed to make it to 4th place. And with another defeat for Chile, they are bottom as mentioned. Chile's next game will be against Colombia, who are 2nd placed. Chile have to visit Colombia. And Brazil will be going up against Peru. And speaking of Peru, Peru played in the last game. Peru played Uruguay and were able to beat them 1-0. Surprise win for Peru. It's their first win this World Cup campaign. It's their first competitive win this year. And a really good time to win. They are now in 9th, above Chile. They are on 6 points, but still a lot to be done. 5 points off of the playoff position, 6 points off automatic qualifying. For Uruguay, they haven't won a game in 3 or scored. With Suarez retiring and some of them big players being suspended because of what happened in the Copa America semi-final. These are reasons why they haven't been able to score, I would say. But with that said, they are still third in the CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers for 2026. Uruguay will be going up against Ecuador at home, and Peru will be playing Brazil away. So let's have another look at that table. Bolivia, the biggest climbers, from being in 8th place out of a position to qualify for the World Cup into 6th automatic qualification. And Paraguay dropping out of a playoff position. But yeah, change at the bottom since match day 3. Peru now are in 9th. So that's as it stands. The teams in green are the ones that would qualify for the next World Cup. The team in blue, 7th, Venezuela, will be in a playoff. And the bottom 3 teams will be out of the World Cup. Okay, the next games will be taking place today when I upload this video. And I believe one game will take place tomorrow. Depends what time zone you're in. Alright then, thanks for watching. Next video I should be posting would be on the OFC. Hopefully that I'll release that tomorrow or the day after. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And bye.